Hi, and welcome to the news headlines at this hour. The US says it has taken control of 4 Iranian fuel shipments bound for Venezuela in the largest ever seizure of its kind. About 1.1 million barrels of fuel were confiscated with the assistance of foreign partners, according to the Justice Department. Washington said the shipments violated US sanctions. Iran's ambassador to Venezuela claimed that neither the ships nor the owners were Iranians. A judge issued a warrant for the seizure of the oil cargo for the 4 tankers after the US filed a lawsuit last month. In a statement on Friday, the US Justice Department said it had successfully executed the seizure of a multi-millionaire dollar-fueled shipment by Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The IRGC is a branch of the Iranian armed forces that the US has designated a foreign terrorist organization. This seized property is now in US custody. Somalia special forces say they have ended a siege at a hotel in the capital Mogadishu that was stormed by armed Al-Shabaab militants. At least 10 people are reported to have been killed in the elite hotel in the Lido Beach area, plus an unknown number of militants. The attackers detonated a car bomb outside the hotel on Sunday before storming it and seizing hostages. The recently built hotel is owned by an MP and is popular with officials. Witnesses said that the initial blast was heard across Mogadishu and there was a chaos as people fled the area. Security forces sealed off the hotel and exchanged fire with the gunmen inside. 4 hours later, government spokesman Ismail Mukhtar Omar tweeted that the siege was over and all gunmen had been killed. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows said on Sunday he accepts that Senator Kamala Harris is eligible to serve as Vice President, rejecting a false and racist conspiracy theory that President Donald Trump has promoted. Shaw said Meadows when asked by reporters on whether he acknowledges the fact that she meets the constitutional requirements to be the President or Vice President. Trump twice past week declined to say whether he believed she met the requirements when asked about social media claims that the California senator and former presidential candidate couldn't serve in White House because her parents were immigrants to the United States. Trump initially said on Thursday that he had just heard the claim and had no idea if that's right, but that the charges were serious and he would look into it. Pressed again on Saturday to accept her eligibility, Trump demurred, saying at a news conference at his New Jersey golf club that it didn't bother him, but he had not got into the great details. Harris is without question eligible for the office. Harris, 55, was born in Oakland, California, making her a natural-born U.S. citizen and eligible to be president if Joe Biden were unable to serve a full-term office. Her father, an economist from Jamaica, and her mother, a cancer researcher from India, met at the University of California, Berkeley as graduate students. This constitution requires a vice president to meet the eligibility requirements to be president. That includes being a natural-born U.S. citizen, at least 35 years old, and a resident of the U.S. for at least 14 years. All criteria that Harris fulfills. When asked about Trump's promotion of the conspiracy theory about her, Harris said in an interview released on Sunday that she and Biden fully expect Trump and his campaign to engage in lies and deception in a bid to beat Democrats in the November 3rd election. The Episcopal Bishop of Washington, D.C., who criticized President Donald Trump after he held a Bible aloft at a photo op at a historic church in her diocese, is among the diverse group of faith leaders selected by Democrats to speak at the presidential nominating convention. Bishop Marian Bude was delivering the benediction on Tuesday, the second night of convention, according to a list shared with the press. The convention will be almost entirely virtual with online video addresses. Former Vice President Joe Biden is expected to accept the nomination on Thursday. Boudet was outspoken in her criticism of Trump for staging the June 1st visit to the historic John's Church across from the White House, where he held up a Bible after authorities had cleared the area for people protesting peacefully against the racial injustice. He took the symbols sacred of a tradition and stood in front of the White House of prayers in full expectation that would be celebratory moment, Boudet said in an interview after Trump's walk from the White House. Three key Nile Basin countries on Sunday resumed online negotiations led by the African Union to resolve a years-long dispute over a giant hydroelectric dam that Ethiopia is building on the Blue Nile, Egyptian and Ethiopian officials said. Years of talks between Egypt, Ethiopia and Sudan with a variety of mediators including the Trump administration have failed to produce a solution. The two downstream nations, Egypt and Sudan, have repeatedly insisted Ethiopia must not start filling the reservoir without reaching a first deal. Egypt and Sudan suspended their talks with Ethiopia earlier this month after Addis Ababa proposed linking a deal on filling the operations of its Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam to a broader agreement about the Blue Nile's water. That tributary brings in Ethiopia is a source of as much as 85% of the Nile River. A stranded tanker was leaking hundreds of tons of fuel oil off the Mauritius coast has broken apart, according to country's National Crisis Committee. The Japanese-owned MV Wakashio ran aground on July 25th, which led some of its 4,000-ton loads of fuel oil to spill into the Indian Ocean's pristine waters. A massive cleanup operation has been underway in an attempt to pump some of the oil out, but on Saturday the condition of the ship, which already had several cracks in the hull, worsened. At around 4:30 p.m., a major detachment of the vessel's forward section was observed, the Mauritius National Crisis Committee said in a statement on Saturday. This is Jyoti speaking for Our Voice. Preview.